The X-Riser is a new, quick, easy, and very reliable method of joining polyethylene tubing for gas-carrying applications. Chicago Fittings, a provider of transition gas fittings to the industry for over 50 years, has applied its most proven and time-tested technology in sealing to the integrated service head adapter of the X-Riser. X-Riser's features and benefits. Integrated swivel service head adapter. Meets DOT, ASTM 1948, and NFPA 58 requirements. Built-in barb tube stiffener for added pull-out resistance. Multi-directional seal with steel ferrule for superior pull-out resistance. Swivel nut for easier installation. Large chamfer for hassle-free installations. Optional heat shield liner. Swaged collar. Galvanized steel corrugated core. Weather and UV resistant vinyl jacket. When choosing the proper size of the polyethylene supply line, refer to the local code and this chart. Select the proper size to handle the BTU ratings of all equipment connected. First, the tank is positioned with proper setbacks from the house, air conditioner, and lot lines. The tank is now set on bedding with leveled concrete pads. Trenching is usually done by machine. On this installation, the trench near the house is done by hand to clear a septic line. The polyethylene tubing must be at least 12 inches deep, 18 inches if external damage could result. Above 12 inches, a conduit must be used. This installation is 18 inches deep. The low-pressure regulator is attached to the line to the house. The extra black pipe is to raise the low-pressure regulator to an appropriate height to connect the X-Riser. The X-Riser is prepared for installation to the low-pressure regulator. Remove and review the X-Riser installation instructions. The fitting body is removed from the integrated X-Riser service head adapter, and the polyethylene tubing is fed through from the bottom end. The multi-direction seal is installed, pushed back, and the end of the polyethylene tube is cut with a flush, clean end. The polyethylene tube is measured and marked at 1 inch from the end. This is the stab depth. See chart on installation instructions for proper stab depth for different sizes. This is used to ensure that polyethylene tubing is properly seated inside the fitting body. The end of the fitting body is pushed to the mark. The X-Riser is slid up and the connection is tightened until the fitting body bottoms out on the swivel nut. An iron pipe adapter with a plugged end is temporarily installed to facilitate pressure testing. The polyethylene tubing is laid in the bottom of the trench in a snaking manner to accommodate expansion and contraction due to heat and cold. The tubing is laid to the top of the tank to height for connection and a flush cut is made. The fitting body is removed from the X-Riser service head adapter and the polyethylene tubing is fed through from the bottom and a clean cut is made. The 1 inch stab depth is marked. The seal and fittings are installed and the connection is tightened until the fitting body bottoms out on the swivel nut. A black pipe adapter and pressure gauge is installed and connected to a compressed air tank. The fittings are tightened. The air tank valve is opened and set to 1.5 times the pressure of the system. This is a 10 psi system and the pressure is 15 psi. With the air tank valve now off, there should be no drop in pressure for at least 10 minutes. This test must be done with an inert gas, not with LP gas. The trench is now backfilled to a height of 6 inches over the polyethylene tubing. The number 14 corrosion-proof tracer wire is taped to the top of the X-Riser at the house and laid into the trench to the tank. The tracer wire must not be in contact with the polyethylene tubing in the trench. The high-pressure regulator is now installed to the tank using a loop of soft copper tubing around the valve assembly and attached to the tank mount. The adapter is removed from the X-riser and the fitting is disassembled. Joint compound is applied to the fitting and installed into the high-pressure regulator. The polyethylene tubing is inserted into the connector to the marked stab depth. Slide the X-riser up and tighten connection until the fitting body bottoms out on the swivel nut. All joints at the tank are sprayed with an approved soap leak fluid. The tank valve is turned on and the tank is visually checked for leaks. The plug is removed from the X-riser at the house and a pressure gauge is installed. Bleed the line to remove air, tighten the connection, and adjust to 10 psi. The tank is shut off and the pressure should not drop. The adapter is removed from the X-riser at the low pressure regulator and the fitting is disassembled. Joint compound is applied to the fitting and tightened to the regulator. The X-riser is slid on to the marked stab depth. The X-riser fitting connection is tightened until the fitting body bottoms out on the swivel nut. Spray the joints with leak detector fluid and visually check for leaks. A pressure gauge is connected to the test port of the high-pressure regulator. The tank is set to 8 psi. With the tank valve on, the pressure should not rise or drop. This tests the whole system to the house. Backfill should now be completed.